The Distinguished Service Award is the highest honor that Farm Bureau bestows upon an individual. We reserve this honor for someone who has truly made a difference in the lives of Mississippi farmers.
I just feel like I'm the most blessed woman in the world because we live in this world of agriculture, and being the commissioner, it's not something that I have to go look it up in a book or listen to someone else's experience, because I go home and there we are.
Cindy Hyde-Smith has been involved with agriculture for a long time. It starts with her family's farm in Brookhaven.
Our world revolves around Tuesdays, because at the sale barn, the stockyard, that's our sale day. And everything has to wait to Wednesday. It doesn't matter what it is, it's just, okay, we can do it on Wednesday, and sometimes we get to it on Wednesday and sometimes not. But it truly does revolve around Tuesdays in the sale.
She's always had an interest in politics, and she decided to give up her lobbying job to run for the state senate, while at the same time she and her husband decided to start a family.
That was a busy year. She was 5 weeks old when I qualified to run for the Senate. And I said, my husband really, he took everything okay except that part about quitting that job. And then he got a little concerned about that. The most important title that I've ever had is mother. And to be able to raise this 5th generation farmer where I want to raise her, and pretty much on our terms, because we have been so blessed by nothing but God's blessings, is the reason that we get to enjoy the life that we do.
Being a state senator, she had to have a broad vision of all the issues, but her heart has always been in agriculture.
I'll never forget the day that Amy Tuck brought me in the lieutenant governor's office, and she said, "Cindy, I want to make you chairman of agriculture." And she said, us women, being the lieutenant governor and the ag chairman, she said, sometimes, it may be questioned. And I said, that's okay. I said, I'm comfortable there, and I don't have a problem with that.
In her position as the chair of the Senate Ag Committee, she and Farm Bureau formed a close bond.
There's no stronger organization that's almost the mother's milk of agriculture legislative affairs than Farm Bureau. And that's where the bond was really established, is because when you're trying to get bills passed, when you're trying to get things done, and then you have this group over here that nothing about them's arrogant, but they're extremely forcible. They step in when you need them, and they come to the table, and they're such a resource for actually getting all the ingredients of good legislation. They're such a good resource for that. But then there's such a force, a verbal appearance of helping get that legislation passed. The slogan, "The voice of agriculture," is truly that, especially in the State House and in the legislature.
One battle that everyone remembers is the fight for eminent domain reform.
To think how Farm Bureau had my back as just the spokesperson, but to think the way that they stepped in on that and supported me. When you're at the microphone and you're at the podium, you're in the well of the Senate, sometimes you can feel alone standing there, and it can be intimidating. No doubt one of the greatest highlights is when I was presented the asbestos underwear at the Farm Bureau State Convention. To me that was so funny, because some of the folks there really didn't know what we were referring to. And they didn't know that at the microphone I said,
if you go home and you run for any office again, this office, a statewide office, any office, you need to get you a pair of asbestos underwear, because you're going to need it, because somebody is going to light up your rear end on this one. This is a vote people never forget.
And then when Farm Bureau actually presented me with a pair, that just kind of sealed the sweet deal of long fought victory. To have that force behind you and that support, that actually show up when they're supposed to show up, they make the phone calls when they're supposed to make the phone calls, and they're to be feared, no doubt. And I don't think it's like that in every state. But Mississippi, strong as an acre of garlic.
And so we choose to bestow Farm Bureau's highest honor, the 2013 Distinguished Service Award, to Commissioner of Agriculture, Cindy Hyde-Smith.
Congratulations, Miss Cindy, and it is truly an honor for us to present you this. And it's truly an honor to, to work hand in hand with someone as passionate as agriculture as I feel as I am. And it is an honor and a privilege to present you this award. So congratulations again.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I should hide behind the podium of all those remarks or just leave right now. My mom's here, and I sure don't want her to be embarrassed, or my family, because I do get shook up sometimes when I go to the podium. And, we just had the great opportunity to listen to Congressman Allen Nunley, and he was such a big brother to me in the state Senate. And one day somebody took a shot they just should have never fired. And I went to the podium, and I was addressing them. And Congressman Nunley, after I sat down, he came over and he bent down at my desk and he said, "Cindy, if you ever get that mad at me, would you please just come talk to me?" And, he just so many times he went to bat for me. And I just had so many really good people there that helped us get very good legislation passed. And one day I got a call as commissioner from Congressman Nunley, and he said, "Cindy, I want to be your friend on the Ag Committee in Washington." He said, "Please let Farm Bureau know and everyone there that I want to tote the water for you." And it's not many days you get a call from a U.S. Congressman saying, "What can I do for you?" But I sure got that one from him. But we did start this bond in the Mississippi State Senate that I knew what a friend agriculture was. And Lieutenant Governor Amy did probably step out on a limb a little bit, because all I could think of is, that old Capitol was built in 1837, and we've never had a female chairman of agriculture. And the same thing when I ran for this position of commissioner. We've had commissioners since 1908, and a woman had never even really been strongly considered for this. So God has been so good, and Farm Bureau has been so good to me. On the campaign trail, there were so many people that said, "Cindy, I heard you speak at a Farm Bureau meeting," or "I saw you in the Farm Bureau magazine." But, it is just such an honor to be part of this, and I truly appreciate this recognition. I think all things happen for a reason, and one day maybe I can figure out why Farm Bureau has been so very good to me and to my family. There's some concerns out there. Just this morning, on national news, I was listening early this morning, and about radical groups who are really going to attack those of us making a living in ag production. And when I say that, I'm talking about folks that they've got a lot of momentum, a lot of power, they've got a lot of money behind them, but they're coming as radical groups that want us to do things a lot differently. Last night at the Equine Center, we had the first ever, we had a bullfight situation with totally no animal was harmed. And we had the matadors from Spain that came, and they did an expedition, and I got over 300 emails this past week of people opposing anything to do with bringing an animal in there, whether it's bullfighting or, that no one was harmed, especially not the animals. They're taken such well care of. But I got over 300 emails opposing that. And when I turned on the TV early this morning, they were talking about a concert that's supposed to be held in Orlando at SeaWorld. And one of the bands had canceled because they felt like that they were just using their animals in the wrong way. And, then it went on to say that this band that canceled to oppose them was Naked Ladies. And I thought, now that's really a coincidence. Somebody's band that's called Bare Naked Ladies thinks that you're putting animals in a bad light when, just the name of them themselves knew I wanted nothing to do with them. And then they went on to say that Willie Nelson had canceled because they just thought they were exposing the animals in a negative way at SeaWorld, of all places. And, I just look for them to come also at the Dixie National, coming after the rodeos and the things that we enjoy, because that's just what they're out there to do. They're coming at us, and we just have to be really,
really careful with these groups. And I know that this is going to be an issue for Farm Bureau, and nobody loves their animals any more than we love our animals. But we do have to look out for legislation for things that would be a total deterrent to agriculture production. And I sure hope that I can be a part of that. But thank you for recognizing me. You're just the greatest people in the world. I've just enjoyed so much working with Samantha and her crew, Justin, even when Derek Surratt was there, Mike Pepper. You know, we've been through all the lobbyists as I was there in the Senate for a long time, and it's never faltered. You've never backed down. And, you know, people say, how do you get along so well with Farm Bureau? And I said, because I'm one of them. We have the same goals, and we're on the same page. But thank you today for this great honor, and it's just tremendous, and I truly am grateful.